Hey everybody, this is Dave Clark, aka the Pattern Guy. Hey, welcome to another Chalk Talk. We're just not doing these things in any specific order. It's probably one of the first things I should have done, like I said in my introduction video. When apprentices come into the shop, 9 times out of 10, we don't teach them how to work with wood. Okay, so I'm going to start doing some teaching on woodworking. Like I said, I'm hopefully going to be doing this a lot with you guys. Chalk Talk is just an overview. Okay, so as we're making projects, you know, we'll do more. Okay, so first of all, in pattern making, as I've shown you in some other videos, we primarily only use like pine, mahogany, you know, for wood. Like I said, I'll use poplar if it's available to me. So, you know, I suggest too, especially like we're trying to gear this for young guys, right? Learn as much about the different species of wood as you can also. It always comes in handy. Learning pattern making, like I said, it's a highest skilled trade. We can do, I made my own kitchen cabinets, I made my own staircase, things like that. I'd love to start making furniture one of these days, but you know, I just don't have time to do it. But I mean, learning pattern making, you'll be able to do all that kind of stuff, believe me, okay? So basically, let's get down to wood. All right, so when I was getting wood out the other day, okay, we buy wood rough cut. Okay, so this is a rough cut piece of poplar. Okay, I got this down at Amish country. Okay, you can tell it's rough cut. I mean, it's all rough, okay? It hasn't been through the planer yet. Okay, see a piece like that, that's been through the planer, okay? So when we buy this, okay, how you order this is, you know, here again, I probably should teach, hopefully everybody knows how to read rulers. I know a lot of young people don't know how to read rulers, all right? So rulers, you have inches, go down to halves, quarters, okay? So there's 4 quarters, 4 quarters to an inch, okay, to 1 inch. All right, so basically when we order rough cut lumber, what we do is you measure the side, okay? So this is this is 1.5 inches, all right, but we don't say we want 1.5 inches, we say we want 6 quarters, okay? So basically, like I said here, okay, that's 1.5 inches, right? 1.5 inches, so there's 4 quarters to an inch, right? So, you know, take your inch off, so you got your 1/2 inch. All right, we'll put little inch hash marks there. So you got, there's 2 quarters and a half, right? 2 quarters. So here, if you do the fractions, okay, the 4 stays the same. 6, you get 6 quarter, okay? So 1.5 inches equals 6 quarter, okay? So that's how we buy lumber. 2 inches, 8 inch, 4 quarter, okay? All right, so that's how you order your lumber. Okay, now what we do is, you know, we order rough cut lumber, okay? I had a piece of lumber the other day that was planed. What I do is I go to my supplier, I get a truckload, just a pickup truckload, and what I do, I take it down to my sawmill buddy, and then we'll just plane that whole truckload up. Good idea, bad idea. Sometimes you want to try to keep it as thick as you can. Most of the times, in thickness plane it as you go. I do have a thickness planer here, but for me, a lot of times it's easier to take it down there. We can do a whole pickup truckload in literally like 15 minutes. And if I were to do it here on my planer, it's about 2 hours, okay? So get your rough cut lumber. Like I said, suppliers, just look around for hardwood companies. If you're in the area with Amish country, sometimes Amish guys do it. There's a lot of guys just opening sawmills in Ohio. I know with that, I've seen on YouTube, a lot of guys are doing the sawmills, or building their own bandsaw mills and stuff. Wood-Mizer bandsaw mills, I don't know if they still do it, but you used to be able to call those guys up, and if your next door neighbor got a pine tree cut down, you know, you ask them for the trunk, and then what you can do, call Wood-Mizer up, they'll come up and mill it for you. Okay, you gotta obviously pay the guy, okay, he's gonna charge you. All right, but that's the way I do lumber a lot. I know, you know, one of my best friends has a lumber sawmill, so, you know, anytime I see a tree getting cut down, I go see if I can get that trunk, and we take it down to Dean's, cut it up, if it's a desirable piece of wood, okay? So basically, to get going with wood is, here's some pieces I got cut up here, but what you got to do is, you can see how there's lines in here, okay? So that's the grain, that's how the tree's growing, okay? And if you cut the very end of it, okay, if you look at the very end, okay, those are what's called growth rings, okay? So that's for every little ring, that's a year growth on the tree, all right? So those growth rings vertically give you grain, okay? So when you're working with wood, when you're cutting wood, basically you want to mostly go with the grain all the time. There are instances where you don't, we'll get into that, okay? But for the most part, you know, you want everything going with the grain. Plus, you got the strength, okay, with the grain going this way. If the grain was going this way on a long piece like that, just think about it. You know, it's going to be weak. You can just snap it, okay? So we don't want to do that. So you gotta always go with the grain, all right? When you get rough cut lumber like this, okay, there's a few things. Traditionally, you want to, a lot of times what's going to happen, okay, you're going to get a board and exaggerated, okay, your rough cut board's going to look like this, okay, with your growth rings, all right? So we can't use that. You know, pattern makers, everything's got to be flat, parallel. Even, you know, furniture makers too, okay? So what you do is you cut your board to length and you run it across a joiner. We'll show you the joiner one of these days and why we do that, okay? So what that's going to do is it's going to cut it flat, okay? So you'll have one flat surface, all right? Then from there, we're going to stick it through the thickness planer to get how thick you need it, okay? So that's a basic, basically where you want to get started. Okay, there's a couple things, a little bit of terminology, okay? So when a board looks like this is called a cup, okay? And then if it's actually the other way, okay, in the grain, but the grain's still going this way. And this will happen because what happens is it twists whatever way the moisture comes up on it, okay? So that's not a cut, that's a cup, okay? So you got your next one, this is called a warp, okay? So that wood is warped, okay? Now you have another one where it might be cupped on one end, have an 8-foot like piece. It's warped one end and cupped the other end, okay? So the last one, it's called a twist, okay? So that's the irregularities you can have in your lumber, okay? And then to take your cups, warps, or your twists out of a board, we run them across a joiner, okay? And then, like I said, when you get them to thickness, you go to the thickness planer. All right, so there's a couple things with the rough cut lumber here. All right, so one of the things, like I said, we're just doing an overview. I can't do everything in one day, and what we'll do is we'll just go over this stuff over and over and over and over again, okay? So one of the things that we do in pattern making, okay, let's just say you get like a rectangular, where'd I put my thing? I drop it on the floor. Let's grab another one of these. Where that one went here. Okay, just say we got a rectangular pattern to do. Okay, some guy just wants a rectangular casting like this. Okay, so traditionally what we do in pattern making, I don't want to just go to the lumber rack, grab a piece of lumber out, say this is 2 inches, all right, say this is 12 inches, okay, and you know, however long, just say 3 feet long, okay. So basically, I'm not going to go in the lumber rack, you know, grab a piece 12, 13 inches wide, 3 feet long, okay. What we gonna do, what will happen to that, if I cut this out, what's going to happen to it down the road is it's going to warp or twist or cup or whatever, okay? What happens, especially like in foundries and that, after you make a pattern, you know, they make some castings on it, they go to a storage building. 9 times out of 10, the storage building, it's just they don't heat them. There's no any kind of steady atmosphere in there, okay? That's another thing too. Okay, one of the biggest things is, let me finish that thought, ramble again here. So basically what we have to do, instead of just having one piece which is going to warp or cup, okay, so what we do is we'll take a bunch of strips, okay, and then we'll do what's called a glue up, okay. So then what we do is you alternate your growth rings back and forth, okay, like that, okay. So basically what that'll do, believe it or not, this will be way more stable than just one piece of wood, okay. So here's a piece of glue up that I did right here, okay. All right, I'll show you how to do one real quick. I mean, they're not hard, okay, but this piece right here, believe it or not, is going to be way more stable than if I were just to cut a piece of this off and cut it. Eventually this is going to warp or twist, even though you paint it, okay. And that's another thing, you gotta paint this stuff, otherwise it's going to warp or twist quicker. Okay, so back to the atmosphere thing. All right, you have to make sure, like I was saying, if you get Wood Miser to cut some wood up for you, you can't use that wood right away, okay? It's got to be dried, okay? A lot of people watch some videos on this again here too, okay? Like I said, I've been working with wood for 50 years, all right? Most guys, they want their lumber anywhere from 8 to 12% moisture content, okay? You're never going to get rid of all the moisture, okay? It's getting more and more scientific as it's getting older here. But one of the things is, like, to me personally, there is no way, I'm pretty stable in my shop here. I got a heater, it's winter time right now, I got a heater in here. Things stay pretty good. My old garage, I'd go out by 8% moisture content piece of wood. They'd be sitting in my garage for 2-3 months, and it's up to 16% moisture content. So you know, I know a lot of like cabinet companies, staircase companies I mean, huge production places. They keep their buildings so atmospherically correct. They've got humidifiers in there, dehumidifiers. You know, whatever the weather is outside, you know, they compensate, you know, accordingly in that. So for me, I you know, I obviously can't afford to do something like that. So you know, all these years, you know, you try to keep the stuff dry as you can. All right, one of the biggest things is if you have Wood Miser, do it. If you don't, you know, if you don't get some dried stuff, you can dry it yourself, okay. It takes a few years. All right, some guys say, well, you really can't get it dried good enough, you know, doing that way. Yeah, you can. Believe me, I've done, like I said, one of my best friends owns a sawmill. He does have a kiln. I do get stuff dried from him, but it's a thing where he never you know, I won't go there. Sometimes he can't do it because he's got, you know, he's got to keep other customers happy. So, you know, I'll just bring stuff home, put it in my basement, and we'll dry it in my basement. Okay, but for the most part, if you're doing patterns, you know, go to a lumber store and get, you know, get some kiln dried lumber. Okay, you want 8 to 12% lumber moisture content, which it should be. Okay, so basically, we'll get down to how to glue these things up. Okay, now here's going to be another thing too, where going on a tangent a little bit. Okay, the my old foreman Joe, the old German guy, he told me, he goes, hey, look, you learn from me. He goes, you go over to Dave over there, learn from Dave over there. You go to Bill over there, learn from Bill. You guys got it so awesome. There are so many guys on YouTube that do woodworking and all that stuff. Watch the different videos and pick up a little bit of what this guy does, pick up a little bit of what this guy does, pick up a little bit of what this guy does, and you get your own way of doing things, okay? So one of the biggest things that we do, all right, you know, these are individual pieces, and actually these are scrap pieces. You know, 9 times out of 10, what happens if I get a big project in here out of pine, I make so much scrap, you know, we're allowed to burn outside. You know, I'll love bonfires every once in a while, but it really stinks having to burn so much wood. I mean, like I said, I've been a little slow lately. We haven't been doing it, but I mean, if I get in the summertime, a lot of times I get busy and I got a lot of projects. So instead of burning it, you know, you know, if I go to a lumber store to buy this, I mean, this is probably going to cost me 25, 30 bucks, okay? So, you know, is it worth my time to glue this up, the glue and all that stuff? You know, it's the end of the day today. What I try to do is get 8 hours pattern making in there. It's the end of the day. So, you know, and for demonstration, I'm going to glue this up for you guys, show you how to do it, okay? So what we do is, I've got 2 square edges, and that's all you need. There's the other edge, I don't know if you can see, it's got draft on where I actually cut it on the table saw. I'm not worried about that too much. Okay, so basically, I got my grain alternating on these two. I already set this up. These, actually the grain's almost straight up and down like quarter sawn. We'll get into quarter sawn. That's something different down the road here too, but it's just the way these pieces are. All right, so I got one straight edge, and all I do is I take my glue, and like I say, I like this Elmer's yellow carpenter's glue. Like I said, they don't pay me. I just been using it. I have never had a glue joint come apart on me. Okay, now what I do is just put a couple stripes on. Just make sure you get it all the way. The most important thing, get it out to the edges. Okay, now I've seen guys take, you know, those little rollers, painting rollers. You could do that if you want. Take a piece of cardboard, squishy this out. You can go to Harbor Freight, get a whole bunch of the chip brushes, chip brush it on there. Thing with that, you know, you get bristles on there. You can't leave that in there. I've been doing this way for, like I said, good long time. Okay, so what I do here, okay, see, I got a nail starting the toenail in there. Okay, and what this nail is gonna do, all right, is once I'm gonna pound this into the other thing. Here's another thing too. Okay, what this is gonna do is, okay, I'm gonna be able to clamp this right away. So if I were to put a bunch of glue, stack these up, put clamps on, they're gonna go all over the place. All right, so this is just gonna keep this pretty straight, you know, and you know, just make sure it's roughly flush. And flush is 2 pieces that are, you know, perfectly straight. Okay, they're not like this. Okay, they're edge to edge. Okay, that's flush. Okay, so one good thing about pattern making versus furniture making, okay, we can put holes in things. Okay, so, you know, more than likely we're going to cut this edge off because it's just going to be a little wavy in that. It's not going to be a big deal. But say this was perfect, okay, and I put that nail hole in there, okay, everything that we do is painted. You know, like I said, I paint my patterns red. So if I got a hole in there and I put the auto bondo in there, nobody's going to see that hole. Okay, obviously you can't do that when you're making a piece of furniture. You can't have that hole in there, right? So, but with us, that's one thing we luck out on, okay, versus the furniture guys. Okay, we can make holes that, you know, don't make a real big difference, you know. So I mean, that's one of the things. What makes it nice too is if you make a mistake, you know, we can make a mistake and we can use the same piece of wood. For some reason, I pre-did these nails and did them in there a little crooked. Okay, now as far as the glue, okay, too, it's, you know, it's going to take you some time. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is going to take you time to figure out how much you put on there. So obviously you don't want to put so much on. Once you put the clamps on, this glue is going to squirt out of here. You want to put enough on so once I tighten this, it's going to spread out in there, okay? But you don't want to put so much on, you don't want to waste the glue, okay? But I want to make sure that I do have enough. You know, you want it to squirt out a little bit. Like I said, on the edge, you know, put it on the edge. Make sure it's on the edge so that once you clamp this up and we sand it surface, you're going to have a real nice joint there. There's not going to be any like cracks in there, okay? And like I said, with us, it's not a big deal because, like, you know, if there is a little gap or something, you know, you just get the bondo out and fill it. But like I said, we're going to try to do stuff as good as we can every time we do it, okay? This stuff too, what I did, I actually, I did scrap some of this. I cut around the knots. There are some knots in this. So what I'm doing here, this board will be, you know, knot free. There was one that's going to be in the middle. So I mean, I should be good with that. But I mean, for the most part, this is going to be a knot-free board. Down the road, I'll be able to make a pattern out of this thing. You know, this will make a nice pattern. It'll save me a dollar or two, you know. And then, like I said, I'm not the biggest tree hugger. I try to recycle as much as I can and that, you know, try to do that. But you don't want to waste. I mean, you pay for this stuff. And, you know, that's it. So, all right, I got all my boards stacked up. I got these clamps. Couple words, slip clamp, okay, slip clamp or bar clamps, okay, you know, both different, the different names you can name them, but I got these. I like these a lot. I guess these are Jorgensen's. I guess they went out of business, but they're getting back in business, I guess, or something. They already are back in business. I'm glad they are. These are nice clamps, and I've got quite a few of them. I got some Bessie's. Bessie's another, you know, a lot of people swear on Bessie. Okay, so say this was 8 feet long. I personally, I want to clamp every foot, okay, on the outside, okay, and then every foot. So I'm good foot in here, but you can see the glue is coming out everywhere, okay. So once the glue sets, these, I definitely want, you know, something like this, you definitely want in the clamps for 4 hours minimum, okay, minimum. These, basically what I'm going to do is set them over in a corner. I'll take them off tomorrow, you know, 8 hours, 4 to 8 hours, you want them in there, okay. These, like I said, I'll just leave these on there till tomorrow, and then, like I said, I'll have another board like this. Okay, like I say, you know, I think Freeman sells something like this, like, you know, glue up boards, and, you know, it'd probably be 25, 30 bucks, you know, something like that. So, you know, hey, saves you a couple bucks, you're not wasting as much, and, yeah, it doesn't really take up that much glue in everything. Okay, so, you know, that's a way to do it. I mean, especially when you're just first getting started out, you know, you can't afford to go out and buy lumber all the time, you know. So, you know, just save up some lumber and save up some of your scraps and you know, glue them up like this, okay? So that's that. And then what we'll do is, like I said, we'll do more on woodworking, because like I said, with a lot of this stuff, I could sit here for 8 hours for the whole week teaching you woodworking. Okay, so you know, like I said, we'll just give you an overview. There's a couple other ways that we glue stock up. I'll show you, not boards like this, like round objects. Okay, we do what's called segments. I'll show you how to lay out segments. Maybe we'll do that next. I'm trying to do things, like I said, I'm not doing anything in specific orders. I'm doing these videos from the jobs I'm getting, okay? So that's pretty much what I'm trying to do here. So, but maybe next, you know, I'll see what's happening next. I got a little machine thing I'm doing. Maybe we'll do that for Chalk Talk next time. If not, maybe we'll glue something around it. I'll show you how to make the segments. Okay, we'll do that. And then Sunday, I'm going to finish up my buddy's pattern. I'll show you how to do the fillets around the corners and, you know, show you the paint that we use for the patterns. Okay, so, you know, hope you guys learned everything. You know, it's one of the things I never say. You know, everybody out there that's subscribing, thanks for subscribing. You know, if you haven't, please do. I hope you guys enjoy my videos. I enjoy feedback from everybody, so drop me a little note. I'll try to get to them as much as I can. Like I said, I'm, you know, doing all this stuff, so I'll try to get it back as quick as I can. So we'll see you next Chalk Talk. I'll see you next Sunday. All right, have a good one, guys.